Welcome to the 10th episode in the AI Audit Exam Prep series, the session on measuring and managing the health of artificial intelligence systems. Today we are diving into how we keep score on technology performance and how we proactively defend against the dangers these tools might introduce. We will explore the yardsticks used to evaluate programs and a core framework used to tackle potential threats. Understanding this is incredibly useful for your day-to-day professional life. When your company wants to buy a new automated resume screening tool or a customer service chatbot, you will know exactly what questions to ask to determine if it is safe to deploy. You will be able to set up clear performance scorecards and safety guardrails, allowing your organization to innovate without accidentally damaging its reputation or hurting its customers. Let us start with how we measure a program. In any business operation, you need a way to track if things are working correctly. We use program metrics to evaluate the entire journey of a technical solution, from the initial drawing board to the final rollout. These measurements usually tie back to core ethical ideas, ensuring the system acts fairly and its inner workings are clear. However, finding the perfect way to measure these systems is currently a massive challenge. Experts simply do not agree on a single, universally accepted method to calculate if a tool is truly trustworthy or risky. There are four main reasons for this confusion. First, there is no standardized rulebook that everyone in the world follows. Second, the technology evolves so rapidly and varies so wildly from one application to the next that a one-size-fits-all test is nearly impossible. Third, people often try to simplify highly complex behaviors into a basic math equation which fails to capture the big picture. And fourth, different organizations have vastly different internal philosophies and ethical priorities, making it hard to find common ground. When an organization decides to build its own scoring system, human safety must always be the absolute top priority. You must ask if the technology could physically or emotionally harm a person. Only after confirming human safety should you look at business factors. Business factors include checking if your staff is comfortable using the tool, whether the buyer enjoys the interaction, and if the software actually saves the money or time it promised to save. To help organizations figure out what to track, international policy groups have gathered technical metrics that translate abstract concepts into measurable formulas. Let us break down 8 major objectives you need to know, applying our plain English translation to each. The first objective is accountability. This means knowing exactly who is holding the steering wheel. If a smart thermostat malfunctions and freezes the pipes in an office building, accountability ensures there is a clear line of human responsibility for that failure. The second objective is fairness. Fairness means the system does not pick favorites based on unfair criteria. Imagine an automated system assigning seating on an aeroplane. Fairness ensures it does not systematically put people from a specific geographic region in the worst seats. The third objective is human well-being. This ensures the technology actually makes life better while respecting fundamental freedoms. Think of a city traffic control system. It should reduce commute times and lower stress for everyone, rather than creating an oppressive environment. The fourth is performance. This is the simplest one to understand. It simply asks, does the machine do what we paid for it to do, efficiently and effectively? If you buy a robotic vacuum, performance measures if the floor is actually clean. Fifth, we have privacy and data governance. This is about locking the filing cabinet. It ensures that the personal information fed into the computer is handled ethically and kept out of the hands of unauthorized snoops. Sixth is robustness and digital security. This measures the armor of the system. It evaluates if the software can withstand a deliberate cyber attack or continue functioning safely if someone feeds it garbled, incorrect data. Seventh is safety. While well-being is about overall quality of life, safety is about preventing direct physical or environmental destruction. Think of an automated warehouse forklift. A safety metric ensures it automatically stops before running into a shelf or a worker. Finally, we have transparency and explainability. This means you can look under the hood and understand why the engine is running a certain way. If an algorithm denies someone a bank loan, explainability means the bank can point to the exact mathematical reasons why the denial happened, rather than just blaming a mysterious black box. Now that we know how to measure the system, we need to talk about managing the hazards. The ultimate goal of managing these specific technological hazards is to shrink the potential for negative fallout impacting people, the company, and the broader world. This is not a one-time checklist. It is a continuous, proactive effort that starts on day one of coding and lasts until the software is retired. There are many recognized frameworks to help you do this, but one of the most prominent comes from the US National Institute of Standards and Technology. This framework breaks the risk journey down into 4 core interconnected functions. The first function is govern. Governing is essentially writing the constitution for your organization. It is the foundational step where you establish the oversight rules, build the management program, and define the culture of responsibility before you even write a line of code. The second function is map. Think of mapping as scouting the terrain before you build a house. This is the phase where you identify the specific context of your tool, figure out what could possibly go wrong, and understand the potential fallout if those failures happen. The third function is measure. Measuring is where you put a thermometer in the turkey. It is the highly analytical phase where you quantify the risks you just mapped out, track their severity, and analyze exactly how bad the damage could be. The fourth and final function is manage. Managing is the act of putting out the fires and building fences. In this phase, you take all the information you measured, prioritize the most dangerous threats, take action to neutralize them, and continuously oversee the system to ensure new threats do not sneak in. Let us quickly recap what we have covered. We explored the difficulty of establishing universal metrics due to rapid changes and ethical complexities. We learned that human safety must always outrank business goals. We broke down the 8 critical objectives for trustworthy systems, from accountability to explainability. And finally, we walked through the 4 essential pillars of identifying and handling hazards, which are governing, mapping, measuring, and managing. To ensure these concepts are fully locked in before we move forward, I highly recommend putting your knowledge to the test. All the important topics and concepts from this session are covered in the multiple choice questions on rucloud.com. You should ideally solve the chapter-wise questions to reinforce your learning before moving to the next session.